Crop production and management. Water crops. When plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. For example, crop of wheat means that all the plants grown in a field are that of wheat. But why do we need to produce crops? We all need food. In order to provide food for a large population, regular production, proper management, and distribution of food is necessary. You already know that crops are of different types like cereals, vegetables, and fruits. On the basis of the season they grow, this can be classified into two groups. Kharif crops, which grow in the rainy season. Example, paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, cotton, etc. And Rabi crops, the crops grown in the winter season. Examples of Rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, and linseed. Besides this, pulses and vegetables are grown during summer at many places. Basic practices of crop production. Cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. You may find that these activities are similar to those carried out by a gardener or even by you when you grow ornamental plants in your house. So what are the agricultural practices? First, preparation of soil. There are 3 steps in preparation of soil: plowing, leveling, and manuring. Plowing means upturning or loosening of the soil. It has several advantages. It makes the soil airy and porous. It helps the plant roots to penetrate. Also, as it upturns the soil, so it brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top. Moreover, the harmful microorganisms are killed and it helps in uprooting the weeds. For plowing, the agricultural implements are used: a plow, a hoe, or a tractor-driven cultivator. After plowing, the land is leveled. It is pressed with the help of a leveler, wooden or iron leveler. And manuring, adding manure to the soil. Next, sowing. Sowing is the most important part of crop production. Before sowing, good quality seeds are selected. Good quality seeds are clean and healthy seeds of a good variety. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give a high yield. For sowing of seeds, farmers use traditional method of sowing by using traditional tools, or nowadays the seed drill is used for sowing with the help of tractors. Some of the plants which are grown in nursery and after that these are transferred to the main field. This is called transplantation. The substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for healthy growth of plants are called manure and fertilizers. Actually, continuous growing of crops makes the soil poorer in certain nutrients. Therefore, farmers have to add manure to the fields to replenish the soil with nutrients. This process is called manuring. Improper or insufficient manuring results in weak plants. Fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in a particular nutrient. So, a fertilizer is an inorganic salt, whereas manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung, human waste, and plant residues. A fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure can be prepared in the fields. A fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil. Manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Examples of some fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, NPK. Manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. All living beings need water to live. Water is important for proper growth and development of flowers, fruits, and seeds of plants. Water is absorbed by the plant roots. Along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. Plants contain nearly 90% water. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place under dry conditions. Nutrients dissolved in water get transported to each part of the plant. So, the supply of water is very important. The supply of water to crops at different intervals is called irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. Now, the sources of irrigation. The sources of irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. So, the irrigation can be done traditionally or by the use of modern methods. Traditional methods of irrigation are moat, chain, dhekli, or rahat, whereas sprinkler and drip systems are the modern methods of irrigation. In a field, many other undesirable plants grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Weeding is necessary since weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space, and light. Thus, they affect the growth of the crops. Some weeds interfere even in harvesting and may be poisonous for animals and human beings. Farmers adopt many ways to remove weeds and control their growth. Tilling before sowing of crops helps in uprooting and killing of weeds. Manual removal includes physical removal of weeds by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground from time to time. This is done with the help of a khurpi. A seed drill is also used to uproot weeds. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides like 2,4-D. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. The best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. Next is harvesting. With the non-tiring efforts of the farmers, the field now has turned green. Here you can see a sight which fills our heart. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. And when it matures, the green field which turns into golden. So this is the time to harvest. Harvesting of a crop is an important task. The cutting of crop after it is mature is called harvesting. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. Harvesting in our country is either done manually by a sickle or by a machine called harvester. Now when these are collected from the field, here you can see this is being taken or being transported to the place where the next processes will be continued. In the harvested crop, the seeds need to be separated from the stalk. This process is called threshing. This can be done by beating the stalks on the wooden bar or on a stone. This can be done with the help of a machine called combine. Now next step is winnowing. Farmers with the small holdings of land do the separation of grains and chaff by winnowing with the help of air. Next is storage. Storage of produce is an important task. If the crop grains are to be kept for longer time, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. The fresh crop has more moisture. If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by organisms, losing their germination capacity. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by insect pests, bacteria, and fungi. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. However, large-scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. Dried neem leaves are used for storing food grains at home for storing large quantities of grains in the godowns. Specific chemicals treatments are required to protect them from pests and microorganisms. So, the agricultural practices are preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting and storage. Food is also obtained from animals, for which animals are reared. We have just seen that the process of crop production involves a number of steps like selection of seeds, sowing, etc. Similarly, animals reared at home or in farms have to be provided with proper food, shelter and care. When this is done on a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. So, rearing and management of animals on a large scale is called animal husbandry. This is also part of agriculture. So, this was a recap of the chapter. Thank you, students.